sorry the heat doesn't work so good. This car is, it's all I can afford. But anything's better than being out there tonight, right? Can't believe it's gotten this cold already. It's only October. Here, take those quarters in that cup with you. Really, take it. And that $1. Get yourself a midnight snack. The Sunoco is still open this late. They're 24 hours. I have a lot of empathy for someone in your position. I do. I know a little bit about what it's like to not know if you're going to have a roof over your head. I had an experience. In my trailer in Queen Anne. Little thing way off the main road, all by itself. But peaceful. Peaceful place to be. In there, looking out. No need to go out much. Ever. But I come back from the Save-A-Lot, come down the drive, and I saw the lights were on. But that couldn't be. I'd never have left them on like that. My stepfather used to crucify me about that. I went inside and there were like these, I swear, like 8 people there in my trailer, just standing there, sitting there. Like I'd invited somebody over for a party or something. It was normal looking people, It was men and women. They looked normal. I mean, they were dressed kind of nice. Like nothing about them had any actual color or personality. And I freaked out, but they were real calm. They started saying, "It's all right. It's okay. Don't be afraid. We know you must be feeling a shock." So my questions just started pouring out, right? And they weren't really answering them. They just repeated their line over and over. This person or that person would say something like that they understood what it must be like to walk into my home and have this shock. And this is what they kept saying. There was nothing that could be done about them being there. There was nothing that could be turned back about any of it. They said, "We are here now, and this is what has happened." So I lost it. I was like, look, either you leave or at least you tell me why you're here and how you got in, but all that didn't get me anywhere with these people. All it was, yes, we understand your dismay, but no, there's nothing to be done. We are not leaving. One of the women says, how did she put it? There was the time before when this was your home, but now it's this time, and it will now always be this time. I did real well staying in control. Didn't make a move at them because there were 8 of them in my tiny, it's not even like a normal living room. It barely moved. There was something terrifying about their calm. Sitting up straight, standing, perfect posture. And I went back out and I got in the car and I called the police and I told them there are these all these people in my house and I don't know who they are and they're refusing to leave. They're talking strange, so please send someone. And they said, 10 minutes. I'm sitting there in the dark, in the car. I turned the engine on just so like the sound, the idling will soothe me. I'm watching my windows, waiting. What a horrible... Like, what can I do? I have no gun on me. I'm not allowed to have one. The cop shows up. He's alone. They didn't even send 2 cops. I don't know. Maybe I didn't describe it all real well. I mean, this was a home invasion. I tell the cop what's happening, all over again. Good guy, older guy. He goes, look, in my experience, it's not going to help if you go back in there. You say they're unarmed, they're rational, they don't seem violent. Let me talk to these people. Stay here next to your car. So yeah, he goes in there alone. I stand there, I watch him go in, and I wait again. You ever been out in Queen Anne? I take a few steps outside in the grass, real late at night, in the quiet, and it's so far out. Sometimes the moon will shine down, and I can put my hand up in front of my face, and it'll almost glow. Because the moonlight is so pure. Not like in the city. Anyway, it was even worse the second time. Back quiet. I waited. I thought it was maybe 10 full minutes. And then the lights went out. All at once, it was dark in there. Totally dark again. I started to go forward a few steps, but then I stopped and I just listened. Then I saw, first it was one face, then another one. The people in there, they were in the windows. Both the windows, real dim behind the screens, looking out at me. The little square in the front door, too. One of the men had gone up to it from inside, and I saw his face there, real close, against the glass. And the cop was not coming out. That's the most scared I've ever been in my life. I tell you that honestly. I got back in the car, and I started it, and I backed up all the way down the dirt, and I swung out, and I turned the headlights on, and I got out of there. I got out of there. And you know how there were these weird little coincidences in life? I had one right then, right away, like as soon as the engine started, the song comes on the radio, right at the very start of it. It was my favorite song back in school. Give a Little Bit. Just that kind of unexplainable night. Or maybe, I don't know. I had my phone in my hand. I was trying to think. I'm driving down the road. I'm getting further and further out. And finally, I stop right in the middle of the road, and I call the police again. I say, look, this one officer came out, and he went into the house, and he didn't come out. His car's sitting there. I think something happened to him. These people are crazy. Can you call him and make sure he's okay, please? But the woman on the phone, she's different from the first time, and she makes me explain it like from the start. I tell her, Jesus, there are people in my home. I've never seen them before. I don't know them. They say they're exactly in the right place. There's nothing I can do. It's inevitable or something. They belong there. Please, someone else needs to get out here. She was like, how much of their exact words can you remember? Was there a threat made? Like I'm some kind of like a stenographer or something. I said they had their faces at the windows. It was in the way they looked at me. Their eyes, sharp eyes. One of the women said, there is no way for you to exist here for a moment more. That time is gone. We intend to stay. Dispatcher says, okay, we're calling the officer now. Stay away from the house. We'll call you right back. Stay away from the house. 5 minutes go by. I don't even know which road I'm driving on by that point. She calls me back. We haven't been able to reach the officer. We haven't been able to raise the officer. More are on their way. Don't go back into your house. Stay well clear until you're contacted again. What can I do then? But I make my way back, but not all the way. There was this lovely sight. I was coming up over this little rise. There was just fields on either side of me. And I look far away through the dark, and I see this kind of snapping blue glow moving in the distance, barely lighting the sky, just above the corn stalks. And I know it's the police driving down the road toward my trailer. I gave the cops as long as I could. I don't know how long I gave them. Long time. I just idled off the road, a quarter mile down, close enough so I could see the flashers in the trees. At some point, I just couldn't wait any longer for some call. So I went down the drive. 3 more cop cars parked on the grass, but still dark inside, completely dark. And what I thought was real strange was none of them had stayed outside, like on their radios or anything. They'd all gone in. One of the cops' doors was even still open. They don't make a sound, those blue flashers. I didn't even get out of my car. It all felt so wrong. It had been too long for something not to have happened. All those people inside there. Finally, someone comes out. Not a cop, though. One of the people. One of the men. But I don't remember seeing this one before for some reason. Comes out, and he walks across the grass to me real slow. And he leans down beside my window, and he looks in. He says, "Sir, we simply don't understand how we have failed to communicate to you. Do you know what is meant by the word inexorable? It means we entertain no resistance, and we will never, ever go." Don't freak out, I'm just pulling over for a minute. I just want you to imagine what this stretch of road is like in the daytime. Right, with the sun out, streaming through those woods and the fields with birds everywhere. But now, see, it just seems to me there's 2 entirely different worlds we're living. Same place, but isn't this so dark and alien? It's like we're trapped going back and forth between the 2 worlds. And this one, the dark one, it's always just a few hours from coming back. It's tough to go on sometimes when that really sinks in. Like at the Sunoco, it's open 24 hours all year. How do they not go insane when they can't escape having to always be awake, going back and forth between the light and the dark like that? We're almost